Hey, it's Jay's Two Cents, and I have a guest with me today.
Hi.
My wife's out of town, so this is my girlfriend. No, I'm just kidding. This is Miss Jay's Two Cents, the one some of you guys, people think doesn't exist, and there she is. I want to do something new over here on the vlog channel since we're getting pretty damn close to 1,000 subscribers. I get a lot of questions from people, and sometimes I don't feel like I have the answers because I don't think I have the right perspective. Like, I feel like sometimes it just needs a female perspective in order just to kind of get a full, I don't know, I guess range of advice. And there's one question I want to answer in specific, which gave me an idea for something called Mail Saturday, or I might call it something else, because you tweeted out that it was Mail Saturday, M-A-L-E, instead of M-A-I-L.
Well, it seems like it's the MALEs that are asking you the female type questions that need answered.
Newsflash, I have like just as many female subscribers on the vlog channel as I do male. It is almost 50-50.
But the female questions don't need a female perspective.
Sometimes the females want to ask me about the male perspective, but sometimes the females do want a female perspective.
Oh, okay.
The bottom line
It
is,
can go both ways.
the bottom line is, I think no matter what, if we both answer the question, and we may not agree on the answer, so you guys will get to
true.
see how we do and don't agree on things sometimes. I
That
agree
never
with,
happens.
I agree with everything she says, because if I don't,
He knows better.
I get in trouble. Anyway, this is Miss J's Two Cents, and I don't know if we'll come up with a nickname for her or not other than that. I've already answered this question I gave a response to this question that we're going to answer today, but I got to thinking about it, and I think that this is a big deal because if you guys watched my Draw My Life, I've had some female issues in the past, and I feel like this guy is getting ready to possibly make the same sort of mistakes that I was making when it came to females. So I've already written this guy back, and we're going to paraphrase his question because it was really long. I don't have time to read it. But the bottom line here was, he's been dating this girl for 5 dates already. Now 5 dates. I don't know how long those dates went or how much they've talked in between. I don't know if they've been, talking for a month and they've gone out 5 times,
Okay.
or if they've been together a week and seen each other 5 days straight. So I don't know the timeline on that. So he's invited to this girl's choir performance, because I guess she's in choir, and she has a best guy friend, which already can be just a little bit awkward when it comes to getting to know a girl, especially if she's already got that brother, best guy friend, protective, thing going on. And it's important to note that she's been friends with this guy a long time, so he has a
Many
lot
years.
of he has a lot of pull over her relationships, and apparently he's been known in the past to kind of like get in between relationships when it comes to her. So, very protective. So anyway, he goes to the choir performance, and he brings a single rose with him because he wants to, congratulate her like you do any performance. You bring a rose or roses.
Yeah, that's sweet. Good idea.
So he goes and he watches a performance, and afterwards they all go out the back. And you were in choir, so you know how it is, And he goes out, they go out the back, and
Was the friend in choir too?
no,
male friend?
no,
Okay.
the male friend was not in choir, but he was at the performance. And before he can get up to her and give her his rose, the best guy friend is already there giving her a dozen roses.
Oh.
So already he's kind of looking like he's shown up a little bit by the best friend.
Okay.
And so he's thinking to himself, okay, I got to do something now. Now, a little background before I tell you what happened next. She had always kind of told him, don't talk about our relationship in front of so-and-so. And so-and-so is the guy friend. I don't know his name. So she wants the relationship.
So he's met the friend before this choir?
Wasn't clear.
Okay.
The bottom line is she didn't want the new, I'll just call him the guy she's dating. Because I don't know how much of a relationship you can be in after 5 dates. Granted, after 5 dates, you and I were kind of deep, I guess, because we had the things we had talked about, in the beginning. So I have no idea how close they were in those 5 dates. But she had at some point along the line said, I don't want so-and-so to know that we're dating.
Okay.
So,
Don't say anything about the dating thing.
right.
Okay.
So now knowing that, what he chose to do at the choir was sneak up behind her and give her a kiss in front of the guy friend as he's giving her a dozen roses. So he's got his one rose. He kind of like sneaks up behind her, like turns her around real quick, gives her a kiss on the mouth, and gives her the rose. Immediately, she kind of responds with the whole "what the hell are you doing" sort of thing, and like kind of grabbed him and like ran away from the group with him, like around the corner, and the best guy friend is like back, still staying with the group sort of thing. And at that point, she kind of like pretty much broke it off with him right then and there. Well, I understand that she was probably upset because she feels like he went against her wishes. So
that seems like an odd.
I do think it feels like she's hiding something.
Yeah, there's more to the story.
And there is more to the story, actually. So she kind of broke it off with him, and he said, "Okay, fine. You want your space." He removed her from Facebook. He removed her phone number from his phone. He removed her from anywhere he had ties with her, and not in a whole "screw you." He was being respectful. And he was like, "Okay, if we're done and we've only been on 5 dates, I'm going to go ahead and kind of remove your stuff. There's nowhere to go from there."
Yeah.
So the very next morning, she calls him up and is already, "I wanted to go back to the way it was, and I want to be with you, and this and that." So he says, "Okay, fine." But she's been very, very distant ever since. And, doesn't return calls, and he has to kind of chase her sort of thing.
No real explanation?
No explanation at all. So his question to me was kind of a 2 or 3 parter. One, he wants to know how I felt about the way he handled himself at the choir. He wants to know, too, if I think there was something going on with the best guy friend. And 3, he wants to know if this girl is even worth pursuing. So what I told him about the choir thing was I didn't really agree with the way he handled it because, one, he knew that she had a wish to not let this guy know.
Which I think is kind of weird in and of itself. Like, that leads me to believe that there's some feelings between the guy friend and her, whether it be on her side or she knows the guy friend has feelings for her.
Yep.
It seems a little...
And the reason why I said I didn't agree with it was because for that very reason. I think that she was hiding something. Or she just wanted to remain appearing available.
Yeah, maybe.
2, do I think she's hiding something by the fact that she's being super secretive? I told him I think that seems like, now granted, this is one side of the story. I don't know much more than what I've been able to read in one email regarding this relationship. Yeah, I think this girl likes being chased. And I think that she's being chased by the guy friend. And she's probably maybe got something going on with him and is saying, "Don't tell anybody about us," sort of thing, which could put her in an awkward situation at the choir thing, which is also why when he kind of said, "Okay, I'll remove you from all the social media," she kind of went, "Well, wait a minute, no, and she wants to be wanted by this guy. And the third part of his question, the way I answered it was, does she seem like she's worth all this trouble? And I asked him, I said, "How much do you really know a person in 5 dates? What did you do on these 5 dates?" He called her his 10. And I said, "How much could you know about a person to make them your 10 in 5 dates? I feel like that might only be a physical 10. But emotionally and when it comes to your relationship, she may not be a 10. She may be trouble."
She could be trouble, but on the other side of that, she could also just be cautious. Who knows? It seems a little fishy, and I do think there might be something going on between her and the guy's friend, but on the other side, it could just maybe be cautious. Maybe she doesn't feel like she's that close to give him that title, per se, after only 5 dates. And maybe that's why she wants to seem more open and available.
Okay, what do you make of the whole wanting to break it off with him, and then the very next morning already telling him, "I wanted to go back to the way it was"? That just seems so dramatic to me. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention the ages.
I was gonna say, do you have an age range idea? I was assuming high school, junior high.
He's 18, she's 17, and turning 18.
Okay.
So right off the bat, we're not dealing with so much of a statutory thing.
No.
I hope not, anyway. He didn't get into any of that detail, but I don't know. The way I see it is if after 5 dates, and I'm going to assume there's time that went in between those dates, so let's say at least a few weeks.
Okay.
If you like the guy enough to be going on repeated dates with him and making out, because he did say that, they were making out sort of thing. Mm-hmm. I would think if you like a person that much, that you would be willing to at least, I as a guy would think you should be open about it. But I kind of feel like this girl wants, like you said, kind of leave her options open, I guess. So, I don't know. I also, based on my Draw My Life and what I went through when I was 18, I definitely told him, you're too young to be thinking about serious relationship at this point.
Relationships are way different when you're 18 than when you're 30. Although, I was 18 when we got together.
Yeah, and I was like your first real serious relationship. I mean, you had like other relationships that you thought you were serious about, but looking back, how serious were you about them?
People could say that about how serious am I with you now, and how could I know?
She's not that serious about me right now, actually. She's shopping around.
Keeping my options open. You never know.
She won't let me kiss her in public. Even though we have a kid. We just kind of bought one day, I guess.
Toys R Us.
So what? Okay, and I know he's watching because he's a regular viewer. What would you tell this guy about this situation? He wants to know if she's worth pursuing, and I haven't heard back from him after he saw my Draw My Life, other than for him to say, wow, yeah, it did sort of. And the last thing he said to me was, and he hasn't followed up on this, was, he says, I'm going to find out from her. He says, I'm going to talk to her in the morning and ask her exactly what she wants. And if she still wants to keep our relationship a secret, then I'm going to kind of move on, because he's not willing to be in a secret relationship.
Well, I was going to say he needs to seriously have a conversation with her on what are the dynamics of this relationship, and what do you want from this. And if they're not on the same page and he's not willing to be in a secret relationship and she still wants to keep it a secret, then I would say that's not worth it. Like, that's not worth pursuing, because don't put yourself in that knowing that's not what you want.
Because I don't think
you're not going to be happy.
I don't think he's going to get a real straight answer out of her as to why it wants to be a secret.
And she might not have a reason that she wants to tell him. She has a reason, I'm sure, but whether she wants to tell him that reason or not.
Why do women have to be so complicated? Us guys are just like, hey, you want to date? Okay, cool, let's go. We're dating. Everybody, hey, look, we're dating. And girls are like, well...
That's not true.
And how many times have you, if there's anyone watching here, been like, I thought I was in a relationship, but then when I introduced them as my girlfriend, they like pulled me inside and were like, oh, we need to talk, because we're not dating.
And there's also men on the other aspect of that.
Men don't do that.
Pool players.
Men don't play.
Oh, okay.
I didn't play. I tried. I failed.
You were not good at it.
I failed miserably at it. Anyway, I hope you're watching. This went a little bit long, but guys, we're gonna try and do this every single Saturday, and you guys better be nice, because
I'll disappear.
she'll just like poof and she'll be gone, and you guys will never see her again. So I mean, people have been pretty nice on the vlog channel. I mean, there's been some hate, but there's hate on every single YouTube video. She's got to toughen up.
Let haters be haters. They're not happy in their own lives.
Yeah, it's true. Same thing with bullies. In fact, regarding a bully video, I'm going to show you a video at the end of this. Bully gets knocked the hell out.
Oh.
Not by the guy he was bullying, but by some random guy that came up and just wanted to put the bully on his ass.
Awesome.
He got helped up by two girls. Two girls had to help him up. Because all of his friends pointing and laughing and dancing around him on the ground.
Oh.
So we're going to go watch that, guys. How do you guys feel about this concept of you write your questions that you want answered by our perspective, and every single Saturday we'll pick a good one and we'll answer it, and we'll see you guys later. Say bye.
Bye.
Maybe one day we'll get Michaela on here for kid advice.
Oh, I'd like to see that.